Okay, welcome back to the Hunter Call the Wild. I'm the gray haired gamer, your host, and today we're continuing on with our new player guide. This is part 4, all about hunting pressure, what it is, what it does, how you create it, and most importantly, how to get rid of it. Okay, in a nutshell, hunting pressure is a measure of the fear or suspicion of animals. Now, if we look at our map and we come into like this zone right here, this is a roe deer eating zone, and you can see it is completely clear around this area. That means that there is zero hunting pressure, so that those animals coming into that area will have zero fear. They will come in there normally, they will act normally, they will be very calm, and act as normal. Now, if we go to an area like right here where we have light hunting pressure, the animals coming into this area, instead of being calm, they will be a little nervous. They can smell that blood, that death in the air, and they will be a bit nervous. Not totally on alert, but they will be a little bit nervous. So that means that they will spook quicker, they will run away a bit quicker. Now, if we look at another area down here, this has a lot more intense hunting pressure. Okay, it's not gray, it's purple. That's a more intense hunting pressure. The animals coming into this area will not be calm, they will not be nervous, they will be on alert. So that means that any misstep on your part as a hunter, if you're trying to hunt an animal in this area, one misstep, one little bit of noise, one whiff of your scent, or one sight of you will have those animals running almost instantly. Okay, so animals can sense that, and they will respond accordingly. Okay, so how do you create hunting pressure? Hunting pressure is created when you shoot and kill an animal in this area. Okay? If you shoot an animal and totally miss, you totally whiff the shot, you will create zero hunting pressure. If you shoot an animal and wound it, and the blood clots and the animal does not die, you will create zero hunting pressure. It is only when you shoot and kill an animal do you create any hunting pressure. Now, hunting pressure is a circle. I know this doesn't quite look like a circle, but it is as close as the computer can get. It is created in a circle, and the center of that circle is where you shot the animal, where you hit it, where that animal was standing when it got struck by the bullet, by the shotgun round, by the bolt or arrow, whatever. It does not matter where you shot it from. Okay? I could have been standing clear over here when I made this shot, but I hit the animal right here. So that is where the hunting pressure is centered on. It also does not matter where the animal died. If I made a bad shot and only wounded this animal, and he took off running, and he ran up here, and he ran back and forth, and he died over here, it doesn't matter. Okay, the hunting pressure is centered on where you shot the animal. Okay, so the more kills you make in an area, the more intense the hunting pressure gets. You can see this is very low hunting pressure. This is a gray, almost black color. Very low hunting pressure. Now we have this little area over here. I shot one animal here, so that got us one circle. We shot an animal down here. That made a second circle. And you can see on the edges, way up here, this is still a very dark gray, black, And likewise down in here, it's a little tougher to see, but it is also a darker color. Where those circles overlapped here in the middle, like I said, it can be tough to see on this monitor, but it is turning purple. That shows it's a more intense hunting pressure because we had two areas overlap each other. And then down here, we have a blackish purple and then a very, very intense purple. So that means that there was more kills in this same area. The more kills, the more intense. And it goes from black to gray to light purple to a dark purple like this. And then the most intense amount of hunting pressure is a pinkish color. A very dark pink at first, and then a very, very bright pink. So the more intense the color, the more intense the hunting pressure. Again, the more fear, the more alert those animals are going to be when they come into this area, and the harder it is to actually hunt them. So your hunting pressure affects not only your animals, but it will affect your zones. You know, your need zones. You have your drinking zones, your eating zones, your resting zones. And this, we have two prime examples here. We have this roe deer drink zone here, and we have this Iberian mouflon drinking zone here. And what will happen is when you go from this gray to the purple to the pink zones, basically the animals will get so scared that they will stop coming to these zones. They will stop using them. They will go find someplace else to eat, to drink, to rest. And this little zone marker will disappear. That is deleting or destroying or erasing a zone. You hear it referred to many different ways. Now, that does not mean that those animals stop eating, stop drinking, stop resting. That just means that they stop coming here to this specific zone. They will not come back, and they will find a new zone someplace else, and you will have to be back at square one. You'll have to go and discover that. So if you do accidentally delete a zone, it's not great, but it's also not the end of the world, okay? Those animals will still be on your map. They will still have those basic needs, and they will go find a new place to use those needs, to drink, to eat, to rest, okay? And you can discover those in time. So if you do delete a zone, don't get too discouraged. It's not the end of the world. Okay, we talked about what hunting pressure was. It's the fear of the animals, how you create it, killing an animal, and it's based on where you shot the animal, how it affects the animals, how it affects the zones. Okay, now let's get into one of the bigger questions. We know how to create hunting pressure. How do we get rid of it? Okay, and one thing you need to understand is that hunting pressure is created and tracked by the game sequentially. What I mean by that is we were here in this spot, we made a kill right here. Okay, so we'll call this kill number one. And with kill number one, we created hunting pressure number one. Okay, then we came over here and we made a kill in this area. So that was kill number two. That created hunting pressure area number two. Likewise, kill three and hunting pressure three, and kill four, the hunting pressure four. Okay, so hunting pressure is created sequentially. Okay, it is also removed sequentially. The only way to remove hunting pressure is to create new areas of hunting pressure. Okay, and again, that's sequentially. So when we came out here, we had a totally clean map, no hunting pressure anywhere, and we made kill number 1. We created hunting pressure area number 1. Now, when we went over here and made kill 2, that created a new area of hunting pressure. So it also reduced hunting pressure area number 1 by a small amount. It did not totally erase it because we can still see the marks here, but it did reduce it a little bit. Okay? When we came and we made kill 3 and created hunting pressure area 3, that also removed a little bit more off area 1 and a little bit off of area 2. When we made kill 4 and created area 4, that reduced a little bit more off area 1, a little bit more off area 2, and just a little bit off area 3. So you can see if we would continue that, make kill 5, kill 6, kill 7, that every time we create a new area of hunting pressure, that's going to reduce our old hunting pressures a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, until area 1 is completely gone. 2 would be very light, 3 would be a little darker, 4 would be darker. The newer they are, the darker they're going to be. Okay? And eventually, area 1 will disappear, and it'll go back to looking just like as if we didn't do anything. And when that area is completely clear, then these animals will be back to being calm, being normal again. That no longer will that blood be in the air, no longer will that smell of death be in the air. And they will come back into these areas and act normally again. They will no longer be alert, they will no longer be nervous, they'll be nice and calm again. But the big thing, like I said, is you want to watch that you do not build up too much hunting pressure in one area with a zone and accidentally delete that zone. So yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. We covered what hunting pressure is, how it's created, where it's created, and in a nutshell, how to get rid of it. Now let's talk about some tips and tricks. One, to use hunting pressure. There's a couple things you can do, a couple little tricks to help actually use hunting pressure to your advantage. And we'll cover another trick on how to get it reduced quicker. Okay. Now, one trick is you're out in an area and you see an animal and you shoot it, bang, and it runs off and it goes over a hill or it goes behind bushes. You lose sight of it. You're not sure whether you made the kill or not. Okay? So you come up in this area right here that's all nice and clean, and you shoot one of these roe deer and it runs off. Did I kill it? I don't know. Now, if you keep looking back at your hunter map, or your map, or you can also use your hunter mate, it will show hunting pressure on both of those. Okay, obviously the hunter mate is going to show a smaller area than your map does. But if we check our map, we shot the animal right here, we don't have any hunting pressure yet. So that animal did not die. Not yet. Okay, if you made a bad shot, shot it in the leg, shot it in, in the flesh, some animals, the bigger the animal they are, the longer it can take a while to die. Even up to like 3, 4, sometimes even 5 minutes. Okay? So if you keep checking back, still no hunting pressure. Okay, he didn't die yet. Okay, and then you see a splotch like this appear, then you know you made the kill. Okay, so that's trick number 1, confirming whether you made the kill or not using that hunting pressure. Because like I said, if you don't make the kill, you get 0 hunting pressure. You have to shoot the animal and kill it. If you wound it and it clots, it stops bleeding, you get 0 hunting pressure. So if we all of a sudden open our map and we see a splotch like this, then boom, bingo, we know we made the kill. All right. Trick number 2 is locating where you shot the animal. Okay, because this is just kind of a blob, a circly area. We're not exactly sure where we hit the animal. We know it was in here somewhere. Okay, so we're going to use the fact that this is based on a circle. Okay, and you'll notice our cursor, we have white lines, one vertical, one horizontal around our cursor. And now if you notice the quote, quote, circle here, you'll see we have spikes sticking out. There's a spike here on the top, there's a spike on the bottom, there's a spike on the left, and there's a spike on the right. Okay, so if we line up those spikes with the horizontal and vertical lines of our cursor, and it can be tough, especially on console, you want to try and line those up as best you can, and you drop a waypoint right there. You now have a very, very close area of where you actually made the shot, where you're going to find your blood splatter, and where you can start tracking. Okay? Now, areas like this where you have 2, 3, 4 areas can be a bit more difficult, but you can still take part of it. Here's a spike, here's a spike, so we can line up at least 2 of those as close as we can. Drop a waypoint, and that'll kind of give us a clue there. Again, like down here, this one, we can line those up, but where you have multiple areas, it can be a bit more difficult. But for when you only have 1 or 2 splotches, this is a very, very effective trick to figure out exactly or very, very close to where you actually hit the animal. Okay, another trick. Well, let's get into one other thing before we talk about our next trick, and that is the amount of hunting pressure that you inflict in an area. Now, the maximum hunting pressure that you can inflict with 1 kill is when you use a rifle, pistol, shotgun, and you are standing on the ground. Okay? When you make a kill like that, you will immediately get a purpley color. You won't get gray. You'll get a purple, not quite this bright, but you will definitely be able to tell that it's purplish. Okay? That gets you your maximum or baseline amount of hunting pressure. Now, there are 2 ways you can get a reduction, a partial reduction of hunting pressure, where you will not create that maximum amount. And one way, with still using the rifle, is not to be on the ground, but to be in a structure. That's why we set up this little tripod. Okay? If we climb up in this structure, if we can get the button to let me enter it, there we go, enter. Okay, now my butt is up in this tripod. Okay, and I see an animal out here, and I bang, I shoot him, and I kill him. Now I will not make that purple hunting pressure. Now I will make this gray color. Okay, and it is 1/4 of the normal amount of hunting pressure. That's why you see a lot of people, when they're grinding, they will have tripods and structures set up in those areas. That's so they can go up in there and they can take out more animals in an area because they're doing reduced hunting pressure. Also, a structure will give you a concealment bonus to sight and a concealment bonus to your scent. But one of the big reasons people do that is to get that reduced hunting pressure. Okay, so that's one way to get reduced hunting pressure. And a structure can be anything. It can be a tripod. It can be a hunting blind. It can be a tree stand that you will get from your DLC. Or it can also be one of the hunting stands that is built into the map. Now you have to pay to set it up. You just can't stand near it and get that reduced hunting pressure. You actually have to have it built and be inside of it, and you will get all those same benefits as the DLC structures: the reduced visual, the reduced scent, the reduced hunting pressure. Okay? So that is way number one to get a partial reduction of hunting pressure. The second way is to use archery. Okay, you'll notice when I said you get the maximum hunting pressure by using rifle, pistol, shotgun. You notice I did not mention archery to get that maximum or baseline pressure, because when you use archery on the ground, you get the same partial reduction, only 25%, the same as if we were using a rifle sitting up in this tripod. Okay, so I'm standing on the ground. I have, in this case, a crossbow, but I can also use compound bow, I can use recurve bow, I can use traditional bow, any form of archery, and I pull up and I see an animal out here, bang, I shoot it, I kill it. Again, I will not make this purple color of hunting pressure like I did with a rifle on the ground. I will only make this gray hunting pressure. Okay, so that is way number two to get a partial reduction of hunting pressure. Now, there is one way to get like a maximum reduction of hunting pressure. You cannot reduce hunting pressure 100%. There is no way to shoot and kill an animal and make no hunting pressure. It just cannot be done. But if we take our technique number one, using a structure, and our technique number two, using an archery, and we combine them, and if it lets me get the button here, come on, let me up into my stand. There we go. Okay, and I combine these. Now I'm sitting up in this structure. Again, can be any type of structure, and I'm using archery. Again, any type of archery. And now I see an animal out here, and I, boom, shoot it, kill it. Now I've combined those two benefits. Now I will get a maximum hunting reduction. Okay, to where with the partial hunting reduction, it's 25%. With double the partial, you get the maximum, which is 2 times. So now I'm only making 12.5% of the normal maximum baseline hunting pressure. Okay, so why that is important, especially in areas where you're grinding. Let me jump back down out of here. Where you're grinding or where you have zones. Like, let's go back to this example right here. We have this zone, and we build up this hunting pressure here. Now, if I do 3 times, 3 kills with the maximum hunting pressure, 3 kills with a rifle on the ground, this hunting pressure will be very, very bright pink, and it will delete my zone. Okay, those animals, again, they will get so scared, so freaked out, they will not come back here to drink anymore. They will not use this zone anymore. The zone marker will disappear. Okay, so that's 3 shots. 3 to destroy, 2 safe. Okay, so I can come in here with a rifle on the ground, and I can only kill 2 animals. Okay, let that sink in a second. 2 animals. So a lot of these herds, especially like the red deer, will see 3 stags in one group. Or if you have 2 groups using the same area, you can have as many as 6 stags in one area. But with you using a rifle on the ground, you can only shoot and kill 2 of them. Okay, that's a very small number. Now, if I use a couple of those techniques that we just talked about, and I know this zone is right here, and say I come right here, and I put my tripod right there. and I climb up into that, even using the rifle, now I can take 4 kills for every one standing on the ground. So that translates into 2 safe rifle kills on the ground, now becomes 8 kills from the tripod. Big difference, okay? And if I combine both of those, I plop my tripod down here and I climb up in there and I use my archery, now I've doubled that. For every 1 kill on the ground with a rifle, I can now take 16 kills. I'm sorry, 8. Bad math. I can now make 8 kills from the stand using my archery. That's a huge difference. Okay, so to sum that all up, 3 kills from the ground with the rifle will destroy my zone. Okay? In a tripod with a rifle, I can make 12 kills before I destroy this zone. So I can make, instead of making 2 kills safely from the ground with a rifle, I can be up in the tripod and make 11 kills and still be safe and not destroy my zone. Okay? Combine the stand and archery, now I can make 24 kills before I destroy this zone. So I can make 23 kills and my zone is still safe. And that is a huge difference. 2 kills safely versus 11 kills safely or 23 kills safely. You can see that makes a big difference. Okay, so let's see. We talked about what hunting pressure is, how it's created, how to get rid of it, how to get reduced hunting pressure. Okay, now our last trick, and this is going to be with getting rid of hunting pressure. Now this I found to be very useful when I'm on a grind, when I'm going out for like a great one or something like that, where I'm going to be in a couple areas again and again and again. I'm going to be in my hot spots. Okay, this lake, and we're on Quattro Colinas, by the way. We're grinding for our second red deer great one. I know this lake is one of my hot spots. Okay, so this is an area I want to protect. This is an area that is very important that I do not destroy any zones. So what I do is when I come through here and I hunt this area, I don't put up tripods everywhere. I hunt from the ground. So I will hunt animals in these areas as much as I possibly can with the crossbow. I will hunt in this area and use that reduced hunting pressure. And you can see I've made some kills in here, but none of them are purple. They're all gray. A little bit purpley where areas of overlap, but all in all, they are gray. I've made all these kills with crossbows. Okay, so I am not causing a lot of hunting pressure. Okay, so I'll hunt this area, I'll make my kills here, and then I separate the southern half as a second hunt, and I'll come through and I'll hunt this area also with the crossbow. I only want to inflict the minimum amount of hunting pressure that I possibly can in my hot spots. Okay, and once I hunt this area and I get my kills, then I go to a second area, an area I don't care about. Okay, an area I am not going to be farming. An area, well, I do come back to this area a lot, but I come down to this area. Okay, you can see there are no zones around here. So that means I can come in here and make as many kills as I want, and I cannot destroy a zone. You cannot delete something that does not exist. So how I use this is, like I said, the areas I want to farm, I use the least amount of hunting pressure possible. That's using the crossbow. Once I build up that hunting pressure on my hotspot, I come down to my I don't care area or my massacre area, and I inflict as much hunting pressure as I possibly can. So when I come down here, I use the rifle standing on the ground, and I inflict the maximum amount of hunting pressure, because that erases that crossbow hunting pressure very, very quickly. Okay? Now, if I were to come down to this area, the I don't care area, my massacre area, and I use the same technique using the crossbow as I did in my farming areas, it would still take me quite a while to erase that hunting pressure from my hotspot. Okay? You only remove as much hunting pressure, or you only remove as much old hunting pressure as you inflict with new hunting pressure. Okay? So if I use reduced hunting pressure in my hotspot, and I also use reduced hunting pressure in my I don't care spot, it's going to take me a little while. But the technique I figured out was use reduced hunting pressure in your hotspot and then maximum pressure in your I don't care spot. So I can come down here and shoot 2 or 3 deer with a rifle, and I will have completely erased all of this hunting pressure all around this lake. This will be completely clean, fresh, ready to come in and hunt again very, very quickly. I've even gone through and hunted multiple areas. I've hunted this lake, I've hunted this lake, I've hunted this lake, I've hunted this part of the riverbank, I've hunted this part of the riverbank, and had hunting pressure in all those areas using the crossbow, okay, using archery. And then I've come up here and killed 4 or 5 animals and had my total map completely cleared off. All fresh, all new, all calm animals, all ready to go hunt again. Okay? So I definitely suggest, most people say when you're out scouting around, look for your zones. Yes, that is very, very important. Okay? But also, maybe find a spot. Maybe find an I don't care spot or a massacre spot to clean up all your hunting pressure. It's worth considering. Okay? And what works for me in this specific area is I start here at this outpost, and I travel up along this riverbank, and I hit my zones, okay? And I will use the crossbow when I'm near these zones, or I can put a tripod or a blind near this zone to have that reduced hunting pressure. Okay? I make what kills I can, and I have found that works for this area, that as I spook those animals, and it works every time, they run up further up the riverbank. So I will move into here, I will take my first shot, get my first kill, the animals will move a little bit. Okay, they'll move to here. I'll move in a little bit, take my second shot with the crossbow, spook them again. They'll keep running. I move in a little closer. I shoot again. They keep running. And I confound that I can chase these animals out of their zone. Okay? Let that sink in. Once they are away from the zone, I can inflict hunting pressure, and it will not destroy my zone. So what I'll do is I'll intentionally chase these animals out of their zone and up into these fields, so that when I come up in here to have my massacre, when I come up in here to erase all my other hunting pressure, I have a nice supply of animals to shoot. Like literally, if you watched any of my other videos, I show it often that I'll chase these animals out and I'll come up here and stand on this road, and it is literally a shooting gallery. As fast as I can freaking pump out the bullets, I'll have sometimes 15 to 20 animals running through this field. And it's just as fast as I can pull the trigger, I drop them. I don't even care if I harvest them. because I do not have to harvest them to inflict the hunting pressure. I only have to make kills. So I'll shoot bucks, stags, does, I'll shoot warthogs, I'll shoot bunny rabbits, everything up I can find up here. Now, if I do drop a stag, yeah, I'll make an attempt to go collect them just to get the points. But if I shoot does, I'll shoot them and let them lay. If I shoot bunny rabbits, I'll kill them and let them lay. If I shoot warthogs and they're not trophies, I'll kill them and let them lay. I just have to make the kills. This is my area where I want to intentionally, on purpose, inflict as much freaking hunting pressure as I can. Because this one little spot clears off the whole rest of my map. So that is my final tip, trick on using hunting pressure to your advantage. Just to recap, just the tricks. One, using hunting pressure or the pop, that creation of hunting pressure to confirm your kill. Okay, that's trick one. Trick two, using the spikes, using your horizontal and vertical lines to pinpoint pretty closely, not exactly, pretty closely where you made that shot, where to look for blood, where to start tracking. And the third trick, intentionally creating large amounts of hunting pressure in one area to erase small amounts of hunting pressure in other places. Okay, so that we managed to keep this pretty short, so I'm happy about that. So if you found this video helpful, I hope it has. I hope it's explained some things that it's took me a long time to figure out. If I made your experience as a hunter easier or more enjoyable or definitely less frustrating, then I've accomplished my mission. So again, I'm the Gray-Haired Gamer, and I want to thank you for joining us. Again, this is part 4 of our new player guide. Please go and check out if you're a new or newer player. Even if you're an experienced player, you may find some tips and tricks in my new player guides that might help you out. Please go check them out. Now, they will all be available on our YouTube channel, and you can find the link for that, obviously, on our YouTube, on our Twitch channel, and we also have a Discord channel where we'll have links to videos there. Please go check them out. And while you're there, give a thumbs up, give a subscription if it helped you out at all. Give a comment saying, thanks, this helped, or even this video sucked. You know, leave a comment. Every little bit helps us out with the algorithms, helps our channel to grow, and helps us continue bringing you good content and helpful content. So until next time, again, I am the Gray-Haired Gamer. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, Hunter, and keep that crossbow loaded, because you never know where that next diamond or that next great one's going to step out in front of you. Thanks again, and good hunting to you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.